Name, course, and your year.
Well, my name is Ceewhy. Um, I'm not in uni currently, so I don't have a course. But when I went to uni, I studied psychology for my first degree, psychology and counseling. Then I have a second degree in law, and then I have a master's in media psychology.
Could you tell us your hometown?
Well, hometown would be Salford, Manchester.
And could you tell us the university you went to?
So for psychology and counseling, I went to Middlesex University. And then for law, I went to Oxford. And then for media psychology, my master's, I went to University of Salford.
What is Black Impact?
It is a national African and Caribbean student network.
Could you remind us of the course you studied as your undergrad?
Yeah. Sorry, say that again.
Could you remind us of the course you studied as your undergrad?
I didn't get.
Undergraduate, so your first
Uh-huh.
course?
Yeah, psychology and counseling.
And why did you choose your course?
Well, I think the course chose me, if I'm being honest, because I initially went in to do law, to study law for 3 years. That's what I went in to do. But for some reason, um, I had to change 3 weeks in for some technical admin reason. I had to change, and while I was thinking of what to do, I found psychology. I did a little digging, and I found that it'll help me understand me and also help me understand people better. Then I decided that this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. And you've obviously finished your course.
Yes,
What did
I
you
did.
think of your course?
Oh, I absolutely enjoyed it because psychology is a course that gives you skills in every other course, in every other subject, so to speak. It's something that you can apply to literally every area of life. The skills that you get from psychology, because you're dealing with people, aren't you? In every job, in every course, in everything. So it is. I think it was one of the best decisions I made to study psychology because I still rely on the skills today.
And did you have a placement year while on your course?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to have a placement year. And maybe because uh, when the course started, so I went to the Mauritius campus of Middlesex University. It's in London, but they also have campuses in Dubai and in Mauritius. So I went to Mauritius, and so placement was not an option for us at Mauritius campus. So yeah, plus I was too busy getting involved in lots of student stuff anyway. That yeah, placement didn't.
What do you think the best A levels slash subjects are for that course?
Ooh, definitely maths and English is important for everything. If you have a good knowledge of biology, that's also good because biological psychology is one of the courses. You're going to studying the human brain and the chemistry and how things relate in your body, the effect of drugs and medication, and when someone is depressed, the imbalances that are happening. You learn about receptors and all of those things. And so I think biology is definitely also one important subject to have to know. And then anything else really will fit in. Like if you are someone that studies, that likes to read, because there's a bit of reading attached with it. So any other subject, but definitely biology, English, maths.
And if we now go into your second degree, which you said was,
Law.
why did you choose the law degree?
Cool, because I had started it before, and it was still something I wanted to do. And I think also maybe there's just a little bit of pressure because my parents are both lawyers, so it was also like maybe following them,
Hmm.
sort of. Yeah, maybe following them was also one of the things that pushed me, but it was really because it was something I had started and I wanted to finish. I didn't want to leave it undone, so I decided to go and do it.
And what did you think about the course?
It was the hardest thing I'd done in my whole life. And that is because I did a 1 year law degree instead of 3 years. So I did it's called the GDL, Graduate Diploma in Law. So it combines like all the core courses
Hmm.
from across 3 years into 1 year. So it was not even like 1 year, it was like 9 months. So I was always in an exam or in a lecture, in an exam or in an assessment. So it was the hardest thing I ever did, but it showed me what I could do.
And what do you think the best A levels are for that course?
Everything. For law, it's always everything. So, of course, English, maths, that's I think that's standard for everything. Then if you did history, that's also maybe good. If you did literature, maybe that's also something that's really good um for law as well. Yeah.
And for
And
your
then I don't know, Sorry, go
Carry
on.
on. No, carry on.
Oh, and then anything that relates to government or public life in any way or another is also something that's really good to have, because you would have to study that when you're doing your law degree. Yeah. So yeah.
And if we now talk about your master's media
Psychology.
media psychology, why did you choose that as a master's course?
If I'm being honest, is because I couldn't decide if I wanted to go to do a master's in psychology, because I have my first degree in psychology, or if I wanted to do a master's in media, because media is something I've always been passionate about. I always wanted to be a journalist. When I was growing up, in fact, that was my ambition, to be a journalist, right? So I was like, okay, and I've worked in a radio station, I've done like some media stuff. So I was like, should I just do a master's just so I can get the academics behind this, or should I do a master's in psychology because I have a psychology degree? So I couldn't decide. And then someone said to me, why don't you combine both? And I said, does that even exist? Does that exist? And then I just did a Google search, psychology of media or something like that. And I found media psychology. And only the University of Salford offers that course in the country. And so that's how I found myself, being here, and this is home now. So that's actually how I landed on media psychology, because I wanted the best of both worlds.
And what did you think about the course? I can obviously see you, it looks like you've enjoyed it.
Oh, I did. No, I absolutely did. It was weird because I was like, what am I getting myself into? But it was really good. It was enjoyable. I learned how media influences people. You know how things go viral. How does that even happen? That was stuff that we learned. How do people join the wave of something? Why would someone want to also put a black square up because it's Black Lives Matter and they want to show solidarity? Like, what's the mindset of people? How do people see things and relate to them in media? So it's thinking of from a psychological perspective of understanding human behavior and applying that to how human behavior works in media. How do you get a group of people thinking the same thing from media? All of this kind of thing. So it was really interesting. And it opened my eyes, because now when I watch TV, when I look at media, I'm just like, oh, please, like, don't do this. No, you can't do this to me, because I understand how this works now. So, yeah.
You previously said with psychology, pretty much it's the English and the history. No, you said history was for law, the English and the maths. But if we go into media psychology, would you suggest any other A levels for the course?
Well, because it's a master's program for now, I don't know if it's become undergrad yet, but at master's level, it will basically be what you've done as for your undergrad. If you've done psychology, that puts you in a good position. If you've done any bit of media and maybe had psychology as one of maybe your electives or something, that puts you in good standing. But if it's undergrad, if it's an undergrad course, if psychology is available as one of your options on A level, it's good to have that knowledge. If media, anything remotely related to media, it was available, also good to do that. But obviously maths and English, I think maths and English is a standard level for like a base level, for everything else.
If we now go into your universities, could you remind us of the first university you attended?
Middlesex.
And what was the best and worst things about studying at Middlesex University? Starting off with the worst.
Okay, so worst was I was an international student in Mauritius campus, because I went to Mauritius campus, right? So I was an international student, and it was a brand new campus. So
just to clarify, you're from the UK, but because you studied in a different country, you counted as an international student.
Yeah.
That's fine.
When you go from the UK to study somewhere else, you're an international student. So I studied at the Mauritius campus, and I was an international student, and it was a brand new campus-ish, because it had literally just opened up when I decided to go there. And so it was not set up like the UK campus, like in terms of having everything. It wasn't set up like the UK campus. So there was like teething issues. There was like, we didn't have the same things that people in the UK, in the London campus had. So it was like, yeah, so those are the difficulties. Other than that, Mauritius is a great place. So it was just like initial early on issues that was like my worst experience. But it was great. Like, I can't think of anything that was really bad with Mauritius. I still want to go back if I could.
So the best things then about studying?
Ooh, studying, and then the beach is just like literally down there. What else could be better than that? So when you're done with lectures, just get off to the beach and relax. Like, that was one of the best things. But for me personally, it was the fact that I got involved with a lot of student politics, and that's where I got involved, like, really been doing all the student stuff. I set up the first student society, became the first president there, got involved with working with the Mauritius government and university, like to do a lot of things for international students. So those are my best memories. I think CY was born in Nigeria, made in Mauritius, and baked in Britain, something like that.
So if we're now going to the university you went to study law, could you remind us of that university?
Oxford Brookes University, yeah.
And if we go into the best and worst things about studying at that university, starting off with the worst.
Oh my goodness. It's difficult to say, reason being that I was in class all the time. So I didn't get the chance to fully immerse myself into the university. I think that's one of my, well, I wouldn't want to say regrets, because I don't regret things, but if I could do something different, I would have gotten a bit more involved with clubs and societies and all of that, so I could really enjoy the uni life. But I didn't, because I was in a 1 year law degree, so I was just involved in everything. It was like, so
Really at the
I
time.
didn't really immerse myself. So time was precious. Like, I did not have the time. I was living in the library or in the lecture hall or in my bed, so that's how it was. So yeah, generally I enjoyed Oxford. So it's a
So
good
the good
city, good
things.
university. Yes, it's a nice place. Expensive though, but it was a good it was good. It was good. I can't say anything bad for the uni. It was just I didn't really have time to immerse myself.
And just a question, would you advise that 1 year law course for students who are interested in studying law, or would you suggest they go for the straight undergrad 3 year standard?
So the thing for me was, it was at the end of 4 years, 2 degrees, instead of 3 years, 1 degree, and then if I had to get another degree, I probably have to go back again and do another 3 years. So it was sort of like a short way around,
Hmm.
you know. But so it really depends on people's goals. If you think maybe you want to do two things, if a law degree is something you want to have because it's useful for a lot of things, everything is legal. You buy something from the shop, it's legal because there's obligations if something goes wrong. How do you know you can return it? How do you know what your rights are? How do you know if a contract, if you start your own company, you have an agreement with somebody, how do you know those things? So everything is legal. So definitely it's a good skill to have. So if it's a skill people want to have in addition to whatever they're doing, because maybe their long-term goals are good, I would say you can do the 1 year degree after you've done whatever it is that your other passion is, and you can do that on top of it. But if you just want to go straight law, that's the only thing I want to do, then feel free to why not just do the 3 year degree and then be able to, take it at pace.
So now if we go into your masters, what university did you study at for your masters?
University of Salford.
And can you tell us the best and worst things about studying at the University of Salford, starting off with the worst?
Well, worst thing that was okay. Well, Salford is in Manchester, so I think the weather is the worst thing here. To be honest, because it can start raining. I've observed snow, sleet, sun, rain all in one day. Like, it was literally just changing like that. So I think the weather is the worst thing about Salford in general. But in terms of university life, University of Salford tries, because, like, we have a lot of things that other universities don't have. Like, the student union owns their own venues. We have our own bar, we have our own spaces. A lot of those things, and they try their best to make a lot of things available for students. So that is good. That was good in itself. I
So
think we
not
didn't
any,
have any issues that other students didn't have anywhere else. Like, there was
so
nothing.
not anything like standing out that was bad, just the general student problems.
Yes, exactly. The general student problems, nothing particularly that was bad for us, like, because you're in Salford now.
What general advice would you give to students about to study at university?
I would say these are interesting times. It's nothing like when I was going to uni all those years ago. I know, don't think I'm old, but yeah. Nothing like when I was going to uni all those years ago. So I would say, um, be pre, be ready for anything. Almost, just because the times we're living in is a bit uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen, like, literally in the next day or in the next month. So be ready for anything. Okay, be ready for anything. But if you've gotten to this point so far, you will succeed. You will succeed.
What advice would you give to students about to study at any of the universities you talked about today?
Okay, so Middlesex, Oxford Brookes, and Salford. Well, if you're coming to Salford, please buy a brolly. Like, make sure you have one, raincoats and all that. um, But I would say if you're going to
Let's say Middlesex. Let's start with Middlesex.
okay, if you're going to Middlesex, I would say, well, it's a diverse university. Therefore, that is a fact. It's a really mixed university. I think all the universities I went to, well, apart from Oxford Brookes, is very diverse. So you will definitely find someone that's like yourself, and you will not be alone, too much. And then I'll say that, well, if you're just going into uni for the first time, it's a new world because you have to do a lot of personal study by yourself. So yeah, get ready for that because Middlesex definitely makes you do that a lot.
If we go
But
into
there's a lot of support as well, so that's good.
and the second university,
That would
the
be,
law.
yes, Oxford Brookes. That, oof, Oxford is a very small town, and it can be very gloomy when it's really grey. It's hard, but other than that, the courses are good. Support is there, but you have to ask for it if you need it. So yeah, it might not be easily obvious to you as a student because it's just like, oh, massive and stuff. So ask for it because it's there. You just need to ask, and you get it. So,
And finally, what advice would you give to students about to study psychology at university?
ooh, go for it because it is a skill that takes you. Listen, it fits you anywhere in any job. Literally, like the skills are you can transfer it everywhere. So yeah, do it. Absolutely do it. Totally do it, and it will help you understand yourself, if nothing.
And what advice would you give to students about to study law at university?
You you really want to do it? But because like law requires a lot of study, if I'm being honest with you, so it's not going to be like a walk in the park like that. It might be a crawl in the park, but you know what I mean. Like it's quite demanding, if I'm being honest, so let me not mislead you. It's quite demanding. You will study quite a bit. You come to terms with new concepts that you don't know. In fact, even the referencing is different. He was like, what, who doesn't use APA? But anyway, yeah. So it's a new terrain, but once you get a hang of it, you will get a hang of it, and you will do that generally within the first couple of weeks.
And finally, what advice would you give to students about to study psychology, media / psychology and media for masters?
Yay! Well, again, like me, you will not fall for things on social media or media generally. You just be like, please, I know what's happening here, and it just gives you more knowledge, and you're able to everything in the world now is very media heavy. Everything. That's where we go for news. That's where we go for relaxation. That's where we go for everything. But it might just help you. Might just help you navigate the spaces better.
Okay. You chose going to university over an apprenticeship / going right into work. What path drew you to make this choice?
Well, I think it's my family background, really. Yeah, when your back parents going to uni. So if we're being honest, that's you're going to uni, like you don't even have options really. So I think it was not really a conscious choice that I made. It was just something that was expected almost. So
Hmm.
it was just, what I was gonna do. I didn't know any different. Like I didn't know what else existed. It was just you're gonna go primary, secondary, you're gonna go uni. So I think it was almost just sort of thrust on me, but would I do it different? No, I'm happy that I went this option.
You've now finished university. What
Yes.
is life like after university with a psychology, law, and psychology and media degree?
Well, let me blow your mind. I'm not working in any of those fields. I'm an entrepreneur. I run my own organizations. Back in fact, being one of them. But definitely, these skills are handy and useful because as someone who is a director of organizations, I have to know what's happening where legally, legal requirements. Because of my legal knowledge, I'm able to, navigate that because of the fact that I have a psychology degree. I work with people, so I'm able to understand, myself and understand people. I use those skills as well. And then, of course, again, even media side, like I said, everything is on social media these days. Even organizations are on there, so it helps me think. Since this is how this works, and we're dealing with people, maybe this might be the best approach. And so it's just all of the skills I have come in to help me with what I do today.
You achieved something that at the Salford of University, becoming the first Black president. Could you
Yeah.
tell us your journey, what it was like, and why you decided to take that decision to do this?
Oh, okay. My Salford journey had its highs and its lows, if I'm being very honest. But I think the best part that came out of it was from that experience, I was exposed to the real issues that Black students go through, and that's what led me to start Black Impact. Um, but it gave me the opportunity for one of my biggest achievements in life, which is becoming the first Black president of the Students' Union. I did that because there was no one like me, and I'm a strong believer that representation matters. Um, people need to be able to see something that looks like them to feel that they have an equal say in the space. And before me, when I got to University of Salford, what triggered me was every event we went to was chips and sandwiches that were offered, and I was like, "What is this? Like, why?" So I went to the Students' Union to ask, like, why is the menu not even just a little bit like different? Why can't we have rice? Why can't we have, because that's what I was used to. And it was just like, well, it's not possible, not possible. And I don't believe that nothing is not possible. Everything is possible. So that was what got me to run. I decided, you know what? If I'm president, then I can make this different. So I went and I asked if there'd ever been a Black president, and I found out there hadn't been. So I decided, okay, then that's where I'm gonna go, because that's who I am. I look for what's not been done and I try to do it. And then when they said they hadn't, it's not that if they had been, I would still have run anyway, because I wanted to make sure the menu was different. But that even made me more eager to do it. And yeah, so I ran and I won, which was all glory to God for that. I can't even take the credit, but yeah, I ran and I won, and I made a difference. In fact, that menu change, I always say we got jollof on the Christmas menu like that year, and that was mad. So,
What is Black Impact?
well, as I said earlier, it has grown to become a national African and Caribbean student network. But our key to our central aim is to fight racial inequality within higher education and in society in general, as well as getting Black students well on their way in leadership and improving their career aspirations. That's what Black Impact is. I know it sounds like a mouthful, like it sounds like a lot that we do, but it has become an umbrella body for African and Caribbean students, Black students across the country, and we strive to develop them in every facet of their life.
If someone was interested in Black Impact, where could they find you?
Oh, we are at blackimpact.co.uk. That's the website. On all social media is at Black Impact, literally Black Impact. Twitter is Black Impact. Instagram is Black Impact. Facebook is Black Impact. LinkedIn is Black Impact. Literally just type in Black Impact and you get different hits come up. But the website is blackimpact.co.uk, and that's where a lot of information is.
Is there anything else? Is there anything you think a student should know about Black Impact?
Well, especially now in the times that we're living in, it is good for Black students to start to be together because there's strength in unity. For so long, a lot of all the other student groups thrive and do better than we do because Black students just don't know how to work together. When we come together, people are thinking, oh, I'm Caribbean and you're not, you're African and you're not. We're all Black. It doesn't really matter which side of the continent you are or whatever it is. So I would say if you want to start to do something as a collective, if you want to start to make a tiny difference wherever you are, then Black Impact is definitely the place for you because that's what we are trying to empower every Black student that comes into our space to say, listen, we're all Black. If we have to fight the enemy outside, there can be no enemy within. So if you want to work progressively, then join us. And then it's also fun because we do a lot of fun things. I mean, apart from barring the lockdown, and also you were at the conference, so you know what that was like. If you stayed till the end, you saw how it went down. So yeah.
So at this point, I let students have what I like to call a free-for-all. You can say what you want about what you like. You can give advice. You can say something smart. You can say something dumb. Literally, the floor is yours.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm not going to say something dumb. I'm going to talk about Black Impact because that's like my everything. I'm just going to say engage with us. We want to grow the network wider and wider. And Black Impact is you. Like Black Impact is the students. It's not even us. We're just the ones that make the things happen for the students. And our class of 2021, which is our annual graduation award, is coming up. So engage with us so you can see, who knows, it might be your cousin or your brother or your sister, or whoever is graduating in 2021 that could win an award. So, but you've got to nominate them. So yeah, engage with us so that you can stay up to date with the next week things. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.